Let's bring into the conversation Maryland's Democratic Governor Wes Moore. He's a member of the Biden-Harris campaign's National Advisory Board. Speaking of service, he also is a retired Army captain, combat veteran, the 82nd Airborne in Afghanistan. Governor Moore, always good to see you. So it does appear now that Nikki Haley at 10 o'clock this morning will drop out of the race, making this clearly now a Biden-Trump presidential run through November. What is the message this morning from the Biden campaign as you look to the general?
I think the message is today only finalizes what the campaign has known for a very long time, is that this is a very clear choice for the people of our country, where we have a president who is leading us through very challenging times and actually delivering results, versus the other person who's the former president, who's running simply for his own retribution. That we have a campaign and a president that is focusing on making sure that he can enhance opportunities and pathways and freedoms for people around our country, versus Donald Trump, who is exclusively focusing on his own freedom and is going to spend the majority of the remainder of the year in courtrooms. And so I think this is a very clear choice. I think today is just going to harden that fact, and that's why I think the campaign feels very good that the people are going to make the right decision come November.
Governor Moore, one of the constant criticisms that Donald Trump makes is that the government under Joe Biden, under the Democrats, does nothing to help people, that only he can turn around the country, that only he can help ordinary people. And yet, in concert with the Biden administration, what has happened in Maryland? And could you please explain the Enough Act that you introduced last week?
Yes. I tell you, if he says that things aren't happening, I can tell you he's got 6.2 million people in the state of Maryland who would contradict that. If you look at what's happening just in the state of Maryland, we've now, since I've been governor, we've announced over 40,000 new jobs in the state of Maryland that we 40, have now amongst the lowest. 40,000, amongst the lowest unemployment rate in the entire country for 5 straight months. That we have been able to see economic growth, 20 points in economic momentum, which makes us one of the fastest growing economies inside of this country. And we are taking a direct target on this issue of childhood poverty, and particularly generational childhood poverty. And that's what the Enough Act is. It's an act that I personally introduced and testified on behalf of, and it really is the most direct and aggressive approach to addressing the issue of generational childhood poverty in our state's history, combining private, philanthropic, and also public dollars to be able to target it towards the issues that the community says are the ones that most need to be addressed. All that's happening, the momentum we're seeing right now in the state of Maryland, that's happening in partnership with the Biden administration. Everything from infrastructure jobs and electric bus fleet electrification. All these things are happening because we have the partner that we need in Washington. And so I can tell you, when Donald Trump can rant about things not going well, he has people all around the country who are seeing the impacts of a partnership, a healthy partnership between the federal government and state governments, who will contradict that at every turn.
Governor, I know you're not going to be surprised to know that I care deeply about the United States Senate and which party controls the majority in that body. Obviously, Governor Hogan getting into the race is a little bit of a wrinkle in terms of looking at Maryland as a safe spot for a Democrat to get elected to the Senate to take Ben Cardin's place. Can you handicap that race for us right now? And what do you see is going to be determinative of the outcome?
Yeah, I know for months, ever since his retirement, the old governor has been saying that the Senate is dysfunctional, that they can't get anything done, that he would never want to be arguing with 99 other people and not getting a single thing done. And then one day, I guess Mitch McConnell's phone calls were very convincing to him, and his whining and dining of Larry Hogan, and he decided to get inside the race. One thing that we know is that if a vote that we're going to see for any vote for the old governor is going to be a vote for the Republican Party. It's going to be a vote for Mitch McConnell and their ideals. I'm thankful for the fact that we have very good candidates on our side. I personally supporting Angela Alsobrooks in the primary, but I know that our nominee is going to be in a very good position to be able to defend freedoms and making sure that we're doing things like we're defending reproductive health and a women's right to choose, making sure that we're providing opportunities, economic opportunities, and particularly for communities that have been historically disenfranchised and historically left behind. These are all things that are on the ballot. And frankly, you know, regardless of opinions on the old governor, these are not issues he's going to defend, because he is going to caucus with the Republican Party. And that is something I think most Marylanders are going to understand and will end up voting with our nominee.
You know.